Hi and welcome back to Second Arts. My name is Agnieszka and together with my husband Rydell, we flip furniture right here in Gothenburg, Sweden. This week we are finishing a kitchen table that I found very randomly, but I will tell you about that later. But this table has great bones, great potential, but you can definitely see it has been used. But the fun thing is we're gonna make it super beginner friendly so that you can do it yourself at your house. I was looking for a new table for my kitchen for the longest time, and suddenly the universe delivered me this beauty.
Yes, Queen.
I was actually helping a friend of mine to transport some furniture he found at Marketplace, and the seller randomly asked if you were interested in this table as well. Most of our furniture flips start with a good cleaning. You never know what kind of grime and dirt can your furniture have, so this is a very good way to start any project. Once the table was clean, Ryder started working on the tabletop. It has a very thick and shiny varnish, so sanding it off is not the best option.
Stop it. Get some help.
Paint stripper, on the other hand, will do much better. This solution starts working within 30 minutes and it helps to remove that thick top coat, also reducing the amount of work. To apply the paint stripper, you can use an old paintbrush. It's gonna work great. But you can also do as Rydell and use plastering trowel. Next, you should leave it on for like half an hour to 1 hour. While the paint stripper was doing its job, Rydell started sanding the legs. These legs are rounded and can be very tricky to sand these with a sander, especially if you don't have a soft, sponge-like sanding disc. Many furniture flippers love working with Surf Prep sander, which seems to be great especially for detailed sanding. But unfortunately, Surf Prep does not ship to Europe, so we had to find other solutions. And our solution is to hand sand using 120 grit paper. Leaving the tabletop uncovered was a big mistake. The stripping gel have dried out because we left it on for too long. What we should have done was to cover the tabletop in plastic wrapping so that the gel would stay moist. But instead of applying another coat of paint stripper, Ryder scraped off the varnish instead. For that he used a carbide scraper with a sharp blade. Once the varnish was gone, he could finally start sanding the table to raw wood. For this step, it's important to use the right sanding paper. You don't want to scratch the wood, right?
You're goddamn right.
But smooth it out, and 120 grit paper is perfect for that. Also remember to always go with the wood grain, and in this case it means that you go up and down the table. Now that the table is prepped, we can move on to the fun part, which is painting.
Finally.
For that I used 3 things: Zinse Bean shellac primer, a spray bottle, and a zebra paintbrush. Now shellac primer, it helps to avoid any bleed through and it gives a great adhesion for the paint that I will be using later on. There are different techniques to hand paint furniture, but to make sure there won't be any brush strokes and the finish will be super smooth, I spray the area that I'm painting first with some water. Next, I applied the paint with short and soft movements. The choice of paintbrush does make a huge difference as well. I've used many different paintbrushes before, but this Zebra Palm Pro paintbrush is the best I've tried so far, to be honest with you. The brush is quite thick, but it's super soft at the same time, and it's actually super easy to use. Now that the legs are primed, I can make a custom paint color. I've used 2 different shades of grey, since these were the paints that I had left over, and created a warm grey color. I always work with water-based paint since it's easy to apply, has great adhesion, and once it's cured, it won't scratch off that easy. And as you can see, I'm using the same movements as before. short but soft. And it's totally okay to go over the same area a few times if you feel it's necessary to smooth out the paint. If you love the look of raw wood, you would definitely love this step. Raw wood looks beautiful, but if you don't lighten it up first, it's gonna turn yellow as soon as you apply varnish. So to prevent that, I'm creating a paint wash using Fusion Mineral Paint in color Algonquin. All you need is a tablespoon of paint and around half a cup of water. You can of course use the same paintbrush as before, but remember to apply the paint wash with the wood grain and in small sections, so that the results will be even. Next, I wipe off the wash with a paper towel before it dries out, and repeat the same procedure for the whole table. Now that the paint wash has dried and the top looks much lighter, it's important to protect the table from any damages. There are many different top coats to choose from, but I found that the water-based coats are easy to apply and won't yellow over time as oil-based coats do. And the best way to apply the top coat is with soft paintbrush. You can treat the top coat like paint and apply it with soft movements, but try to smooth it out by going from one edge of the table to the other. And once you are done applying the top coat, I recommend for you to leave it on for like 12 to 24 hours in order for it to harden and dry. My garage started to get a little bit full of furniture, so I decided to move the table inside my house. To smooth out the table and remove any bumps and imperfections, I'm using 240 grit paper. The higher the grit, the more smooth the table will be, but in my opinion 240 grit paper is perfect for this kind of job. And in total I'm applying 3 to 4 coats of this water-based varnish. Now let me remind you, this is what we started off with, and this is the table after. The tabletop has this beautiful light color and the top coat makes the wood grain pop out even more, at the same time as it protects the table from any heat and water damage. Let's not forget the base and these beautiful legs that are super smooth in light grey color matching the tabletop. I hope I have inspired you to transform your own furniture and to subscribe to our channel because we have way more furniture flips coming your way.
Det kommer inte få plats. Du kommer inte få plats. Vad ska du med? Titta hur bra.